Hello everybody. Well, it's been a while since I've recorded anything, so apologies if I'm a little bit rusty. I actually have been, well, for about a week I was staying with my dad after he got surgery, and then I was house sitting for another week, and then I moved, and then I've just been pretty busy since then, so I haven't had a ton of time to sit down and work in my planners or my notebooks or to film anything about that. As a result of being so busy, a little bit of a notebook planner slump, shall we say. So I had a couple different ideas about what we could talk about today. Let's see. I think I'm going to give a little bit of an update about what I've been doing. And then I think we're probably going to talk about my traveler's notebook, the current setup there, and the couple of extra books I have. Either that, or we'll talk about, I don't know, just like my general planner thoughts and where I think I am headed with everything. I might separate that into 2 videos. We'll see. First and foremost, I believe I had a black, let's move these over for now. I believe last time we talked, I had a black Moterm cover on here, and I switched to this one, which is the pocket rings, the elite version without the back pocket. And it comes with 25mm rings, but I switched it for 20mm rings. And this is in the apricot color. And I kind of just did this because I was moving and I saw it in the cabinet, and I thought I might procrastinate a little bit by switching everything over to this. So obviously it's not July anymore. So I am super duper out of date with this. Let's see, maybe we can see when my last daily was. It's probably when I moved, yeah. So the last daily I have is maybe August 9th, and it's what is it, the 22nd? 25th, it's the 25th. So we're quite out of date. Part of me has been sort of resistant to picking this up again because I am so far behind. I don't know, in my mind, I just feel like I should wait until September. And I also don't have like a printer set up, and my journaling supplies is still all in a box. So like the paper I need, paper cutter, and the whole, there's an ant, sorry. Okay. The paper cutter, anyway, all my supplies is still not unpacked yet. I don't know, it just feels hard to use for some reason. So I really haven't done a lot in here. So that's the update there. And kind of because I haven't been using my planner, everything has felt super chaotic and confusing, and I know using the planner would help, but you know, I just like can't make myself do it, which is lovely. So I don't know, in an effort to have some modicum of structure and sanity in life, I got this back out. I'm gonna fold this under. Yeah, so I got my Hobonichi back out. Like I have talked about before, I have about 6 months of memory keeping daily journaling in here, which is nice and fluffy, but I have been using this as a planner. And yeah, so I stopped daily journaling the beginning of July, so pretty much this is all open. And then I just have a couple random days in here that I wrote. I think it was because I didn't have a traveler's notebook insert with me. And then in August, nothing really. I tried to do this like how I used to do the memory keeping in here, but my handwriting was super awful. Also, I don't know if I just have especially damp hands, clammy hands, but I keep smudging the ink like when I flip back through really old pages. I don't know if you can see. like that, all of this. My handwriting is really bad here, so don't judge that. But I don't know, that has been kind of frustrating. I started attempting to use this as a planner here, and initially the thought was that I would just put to-dos over here and then I could do memory keeping, daily journaling style stuff on this other side of the page. And I kind of did a little bit of that here, but it just looked sort of messy and I didn't really like it. Yeah, so then I think part of what I didn't like was, this is sort of silly, but my nails are long right now and I think it makes it harder for me to write smaller and more tidy, especially with a fountain pen. So I switched to a ballpoint pen and that helped. And I've just been putting to-dos for the day over here and then events with a time specific event down at the bottom with an open circle, and then I color it in once it's completed. And then little either notes about just like general notes or thoughts, like micro journaling style over here. Yeah, so that was started on the 15th and I've been doing that for about a week. Yeah, so here we are. It's been okay. I like flipping through it. It is satisfying. I don't love that it's mixed in with this because I really like that, but I also like this. I just wish they weren't combined. And then, you know, my problem with the A6 Hobonichis is always that there is no weekly. And because I had been using this as a daily, as a memory keeper for the year, the way I would do the monthlies was, anyway, I would go and backfill the monthly like retroactively with everything that I did. I'm really behind on that, but I think I had that mindset and it made me reluctant to actually use the monthly as a monthly calendar. So I've just essentially been using only a daily and referring to my phone calendar. And then if I need extra space, I've been using sticky notes and I've been sticking them onto this pencil board, which I keep, you know, kind of like a tab on the day that we're on. And that's okay. It's okay. It's not ideal, but it's all right. I appreciate that it is a already printed, pre-set up planner that I can just use. Sometimes this space isn't enough if I want to like make a list or anything like that. So because I have extra pages, I can just flip back and use those. But if I were to use this from the beginning of the year, I would foresee that as being a problem. And I guess because Hobonichi season is soon, I feel like there's a little bit of extra pressure for me to figure out all my planners and notebooks for next year, and if I am going to be ordering another one of these again. And for some reason, some insane reason, I have the inclination to like just get two of these so that I could use one as a planner and use one for daily memory keeping, which is so silly because I haven't even, like, I stopped doing the daily memory keeping, so I have not completed the book. It really isn't fulfilling its original intended purpose, so I don't need two of them. I don't know why that idea came to me, but I will resist. I will not get two, maximum one, maybe a day free. Yeah, today I just came up with this little weekly overview thing and I was putting my events on it. Turns out I don't really have any events, so that's nice. I don't know. That's where that is. My very minimal planning is being done in here at the moment. And what else is there to say? It's still lumpy from all the stickers I've used in the beginning of the book. The writing experience planner-wise, if I was using it this way, would be improved if you were just doing it this way throughout the whole book. We'll see how long I stick with this. I'm definitely going to do it this week. It's satisfying that the 1st of September is on a Monday. Maybe I'll switch then. I have a personal size rings I could try also, if I'm just going to keep being chaotic and switching all around. The one semi-regular thing I've been keeping up with is my traveler's notebook. Okay, so as I have shown you before, I have this vertical weekly that I've been using, and I'm gonna do a full flip through of this because I really like it. And this is like a memory keeper that I started after I stopped using the Hobonichi. This is a random page from when I first got the insert when I was in college and I was trying to time block, and that I immediately was like, not for me. So there's that. This was just a sample page backfilled that I was playing around with to see if I liked it. And then this is how they've been looking pretty much since then. So we started it mid-June, and I've just been using some little stickers here and there, stamps, and I like using some lettering to, I don't know, add some different weight to the text, if that makes sense. And then I have just been putting the weather at the top in that little box. And what I write here, sometimes I'll keep this with me throughout the day and just jot down little things that are happening or ideas I'm having, or maybe a song I'm listening to or something. But it's pretty much like a log of what happened that day. There's these spaces around the edges, and I have been playing around with different things in them, or sometimes I just leave them blank. I don't have like a standardized way that I fill those out. And I've been using a multi-pen too, so I have some little bits of different colors. Periodically I have been like sketching some little things. But yeah, I really like how they look. They're definitely chaotic and kind of messy, but I'm into that at the moment. And these are just little photos from Pinterest that I printed out on some sticker paper. So let's see, I have an app that like gives you a report of the music you listen to each week. So I've included some of those down here. I did a highlight and a low light. I've also been putting, if it seems noteworthy. Oh, my dog's gonna start barking, I think. He got very scared. I was roasting some potatoes and I wanted them to get crispy, so I turned the broiler on and it made the apartment a little bit smoky and the smoke alarm went off. So that scared him, but he seems to have finally calmed down. But now this dog barking outside is gonna get him going. Anyway, I've also been putting down these little, why am I totally blanking on the name of that? Coffee Monsters Co. The Coffee Monsters Co. stickers. I think these are the mini icon stickers, and I have a few different ones, like a book, a movie, a music, a location one, winds again. These are from Serica Studios. I don't know if I recorded the order I got from there. Maybe I'll talk about that in a second. But they're super cute. Little bits of ephemera if I have them from the week. And I like these pages best when I have these different sizes of text. Like I'll show you one in a minute where I don't like it quite as much when it's all the same size. Like, this is very cute to me. And I do get behind. This morning, actually, I just backfilled a few days. So I get behind and stuff, but because it's such limited space per day, it's pretty easy to catch up. little bits of ephemera again. I went to an 80s concert. And then last week I did this event online. This is the page where I wish I had done some, I added this and that helped a little bit, but I wish I had more text size variety, or that I had written in a different way throughout, just to add a little bit more interest. Yeah, and I still need to do today, but I'm really liking this. I'm going to keep up with it. I keep trying to count these pages and figure out how many we'll get through at the end of the year. I don't make it very far. But this is what I was talking about. I don't believe I've shown this yet. This is a Serica Studio insert. It is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper with a grid that I want to say is like 3.75 or 4 millimeter. The paper is really nice. I've been enjoying that. Like I mentioned earlier, I have been having trouble writing as small as I typically do. Let me find a sample page for you. As I was saying, I have been having trouble writing small, and I think it's because my nails are too long. I've been having trouble with the grid being so small, so I've been ignoring it, which has been okay. Makes the pages look a little bit chaotic, but primarily I just use this notebook as like stream of consciousness morning pages type journaling, so it doesn't need to look pristine or anything like that. I also got these little plastic covers to put on the notebook because I was a little bit worried about the color transferring onto the cream cover from the leather cover. I had that happen really badly in my pocket traveler's notebook, so I got these to help with that. So they do have like a little bit of a overhang for the cover itself, which is just, you know, kind of necessary as part of the design. But the rubber band I have a rubber band connecting my two inserts, and it kind of like depresses the edge of the plastic cover, which isn't a huge deal to me, but something to note if that would bother you. I also usually keep this pencil board back here, so even before I had this cover, the insert before this one, I didn't have any issues with the color transferring, but because of that experience with my pocket, my black pocket TN, I just wanted to be extra careful. So that is my current traveler's notebook setup that I keep in here. And I have 2 more inserts I'm gonna go grab really quick and I'll show you those. Okay, so these are the other 2 inserts I have. They're just loose in my bedside table, but I do actually have another cover I might end up putting them in. I just don't use them very often. And when I do use them, I usually would take them out of the cover to write in because of what they are. Let's start with this. This is my commonplace notebook. I haven't done anything in here in a long time, but this is just a dot grid Travelers Company insert. And that's all I have. I actually have a lot of stuff that I would like to add in here soon, but I need to get my printer set up first so that I can print out some pictures and stuff. This is my second fully dedicated Traveler's Notebook commonplace insert. So I do enjoy using them. The last one I did, I used to draw like a margin. I did it Megan Rhiannon style. I did a margin and then I daily journaled down at the bottom. And I did sort of enjoy that because I would return to what I had commonplaced about and reread with it and engage with it again. And the in the margin, I would like add additional comments. I think that that is valuable and something that I don't naturally do a lot otherwise. So I might consider going back to that sort of page structure. But that's that. Now for this guy, this is also a dot grid traveler's notebook. This is from some socks, some like hiking socks. I want to say, is Smart Wool a brand that makes socks? There were wool socks for hiking and I thought this was cute, so I kept it and then it came in handy. This is just a chunky little notebook, so having something to hold it closed is useful. This is essentially a overflow ephemera notebook. I've gone on a couple trips recently, collected ephemera throughout, and then have already used what I wanted to use in my like journaling for that, but it made me sad to throw the rest away, so I don't want to show these people's pictures if they don't want to be in it. But it's just this sort of thing, like I know these are going to fade and it's not a big deal, but just some extra bits and bobs that I added. Some stickers too that I wasn't ready to get rid of. This is a postcard from Lee Ellickson. I forget her last name, but I really love her art. I have a couple prints from her in my house as well. A cute candy package. This is from some yarn I got. This is actually useful to refer to. Movie poster. They gave me 2 of these, so don't worry. This is from Iceland. This is from a pen my dad gave, or it's a pencil my dad gave me. I had a moment, actually, I'm still in a moment where I think this look is very cool. That's me. This is from my Hobonichi from 2025. This is super old. Just little ephemera bits that I have hung on to over the years. A couple of pages I wrote some more stuff, but like this is a good example. I have this page where I kept the main pieces of ephemera that I wanted from my traveler's notebook order, but I had extra bits and bobs, so I added those here because I still wanted to use them, but they weren't the main pieces that I wanted to show, I guess. These are some bits from a stationery order and some stickers. And that's it so far. It did occur to me that I should probably start adding dates at some point, so I started doing that. But the rest of this was sort of accumulated over a long time. So those are my traveler's notebooks. And then I think I'm going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on planners for next year. If I've already been talking for a really long time, I might like separate this out, but let me find the page where I wrote that down. You can read this if you want. This is more about being in a planner slump and my thoughts about like which thing I should try and use to get out of that. Really, I just think I need to set the bar low and gently and consistently do what I'm supposed to do in life and with all of my habits that I haven't been doing. But yeah, so Hobonichi, I believe they have completely finished their little like teaser they do for the upcoming year of planners. And I have seen some content and some videos from, I believe it was from Yoseka Stationery, where they were talking about the paper quality, how they believe it will be better next year. If I am recalling correctly, there was something about dry time and stuff like that for the Tomoe River paper, and they got a sample of the 2026 planner and did some pen tests and stuff, and it looked like the bleed through was a lot better, so it seemed more promising. I also think I saw another video from a different planner brand that also uses the same paper, and they had gone through a whole bunch of different types of paper, and in the end settled on sticking with the Tomoe River paper for next year with new samples and stuff, because I still think that it performs the best. I think my stance on the paper in the Hobonichis next year is just sort of a we'll see. I don't love the gamble, I guess, for such an expensive planner. I don't remember, I feel like my Hobonichi was, well, I didn't buy it directly from the Hobonichi store. I think I got it off of Amazon, and the year had already, no, the year must not have already started. I think I got it in like October, November, somewhere around there of 2024 for the 2025 book. I've been thinking about if I am going to get another one next year, kind of what my planner and notebook setup for next year will be. Honestly, I haven't really settled on anything just because I am still in a little bit of a funk with all of my notebooks and planners. But like I said, I have been enjoying actually using the Hobonichi as a planner. Part of me was tempted to do that next year as well. But also like rings. I really enjoy rings, and that whole process is so customizable and flexible. It's also smaller than this notebook. I also really like this cover and want to keep using this. Fundamentally, I don't think that this size of dated page as a memory keeper is ideal for me. I much prefer the vertical weeklies and the traveler's notebook for that. Yeah, I much prefer the vertical weekly and the traveler's notebook. So I'm feeling sort of undecided. I kind of think traveler's notebook makes the most sense, in all honesty, because I can have the customizability that I'm looking for, but still have it in a bound book for the year. Like I could just get a vertical weekly for the year and use that as my memory keeper, just in this style. And then I've been wanting to have like a highlights special event journaling for the year, and I could just have a blank insert for that, and then I can just have overflow journaling in another insert, kind of how I do this. Also, sorry for the changing lighting, the sun is going down. Anyway, I'm undecided for next year. My one qualm, is that the right word? Qualm? My one hesitation with the traveler's notebooks is it is annoying that they don't lay flat. In using the Hobonichi for the past couple of weeks, I do really, oh, that's not that bad. I think it's better with the Tomoe River paper because it's so thin. Like, that's annoying. When I've been using the Hobonichi this week, it has been super lovely that this just stays so open all the time. This cover has a large profile, I suppose, on my desk, but if you just fold it underneath like that, this has been quite lovely. I don't know. I suppose I'm still undecided. Actually, I'm gonna link this one really good video about Hobonichi and kind of their whole marketing practice and take in response to the issues that everybody had this year. I thought was very insightful. Yeah, I'm undecided. We'll see where we land. Probably going to end up at a ring, some sort of ring system and traveler's notebook combo. And then maybe we'll try like the Hobonichi Day Free, perhaps. I wonder how many pages those have. Anyway, thank you for listening to my planner thoughts and my planner rambles. I would love to know what your thoughts are on Hobonichi coming up for 2026, or if you are sticking with the same notebooks that you used this year for next year. And then also if you've ever had trouble with kind of getting in a funk with your system and how you handle that and how you, I don't know, move on or pick it back up. That would be awesome if you have any tips. Okay, so thank you for listening, y'all. I will see you later. Bye.